When the Minnesota Vikings released their first officially unofficial depth chart, everyone was kind of like, yeah, whatever. Again, it is not legally binding. If player A goes down, doesn't mean that player B comes in just because he's listed as a second team and third team guy came, blah, 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 blah. But what was interesting about it is that fourth round pick edge rusher James Lynch listed as a defensive tackle. And is labeling that important? No, not really. Did they list him as defensive tackle because it just saves space as opposed to listing him as an edge where there's multiple edges? Maybe. But I'm keeping hope alive because I think defensive interior is where James Lynch is going to make hay on this team. You love the heart and hustle, but never got above third team reps at edge during training camp and weird offseason, no OTAs, no rookie camp, no mini camp, etc. I thought that there was a chance that James Lynch could have been cut just as a numbers game, not made the 53. The Vikings tried to get cute, getting through waivers onto the practice squad where then they could protect him, but they kept him on the 53. They kept 11 defensive linemen because they didn't think that Lynch could get through waivers, and rightfully so because there is so much damn potential, and this kid's lotto ticket was not scratched. Same thing with DJ Wanham, just because of the truncated offseason, just because coaches are going to favor veterans, especially in this weird situation like that. But I have faith in James Lynch, and I think that he could be the Vikings 3-tech of the future. So let's talk about it today. So James Lynch, like I mentioned, 6'4", he's 289. Short arms for an edge coming in, 31 and 7/8, which is like 7th percentile. But on the inside, arm length matters a lot less on both sides of the ball, by the way. You look at tackle versus edge, arm length is important. Defensive interior, offensive interior, not so much. But what he is a guy who's very highly productive whenever he gets on the field. Was unanimous All-American last season, Big 12 Player of the Year, 41 tackles, 19.5 tackles for loss, 13.5 sacks, and just breaking down his snaps last year. So he played both defensive end sides. He played 722 defensive snaps. 562 were wide outside playing the edge. 139 were in the B gap as a 3-tech, 136 as a 5-tech. He also had 16 snaps in the A gap as a de facto nose tackle, 1-tech, etc. So he had 291 total snaps inside, 33.8% of his snaps. So he's not like a neophyte in that regard because he played a third of his time inside. And Lynch, a little bit different than Hercules, where Hercules came in from Washington State as like 250 as defensive tackle. But Lynch is already 289. He's already pretty damn big for an edge rusher, kicking inside. Still a little bit light, but it's not like he's going to be pushed around. He could easily get to 300, 310 if they wanted him to. Also, already played with a great anchor, already has a great bull rush, and those will transfer inside. And also, he does have a bit of a squatty, low center of gravity, which is, and also he's an excellent hand fighter, which is going to really help his projection to the inside. And I think that he will have a big opportunity there because if you look at the Vikings defensive tackles right now, like who's really going to get a second contract, or who's going to get another contract from the Vikings? So Shamar Stephen in the second year of that 3-year deal, will he be back next year or a cap casualty? TBD. Jaleel Johnson is in the contract year. Hercules Mataafa is a restricted free agent next year. Armand for Watts, like he's coming into a second year of his 4-year rookie deal as a 6th-round pick. Maybe, but that's still projecting. So I think Lynch could easily make some hay, as well as there's not really anyone who's really grabbed that brass ring as a 3-tech. Like Jaleel Johnson played well last year, primarily as a nose tackle, but now they're projecting him back at 3-tech. Armand Watts doesn't get the time of day for whatever reason. Hercules is still hanging around, but I think that Lynch, maybe not this season, just because of, again, no lead up, no rookie camp, no OTAs, limited training camp reps. But going forward, I think that 3-tech could be the spot for him because that clutter could really clear up next offseason, as well as you look at the edge. I mean, the edge is going to be stacked for a long damn time. You got Daniil Hunter, who's the best edge rusher in the NFL. You have Afadio Denebo, who's starting to do some damn good work. You have Yannick Ngakoue, could be back long term, or maybe they'll franchise tag him next year, TBD. As well as you do have Jalen Holmes, who's in his 3rd year. Frankly, had the best camp of his life, filling in for Daniil Hunter. Also, Cheeseburger Eddie Yarbrough isn't going away. Plus, you have DJ friggin' Wanham, his 4th-round draft pick mate. And I think that he does best project as an edge rusher. And as for James Lynch, I mean, He projects better inside than all the edge guys, as well as he does add some versatility. So if you want a little bit more stout packages, like maybe, or you do add some 3-4 elements, maybe Lynch kicks out back to the edge. Maybe he plays some 5-tech, 3-4 defensive end. He does have that flexibility. But, I mean, just in terms of getting a guy on the field and let him do good things, like James Lynch is one of those guys. Now, will it happen this year? Probably not. Could I see him being a game day healthy scratch a number of times off the game day 48? For sure. I mean, you have 11 defensive linemen. But I think that if they do want him to eventually contribute as much as possible, I think defensive interior is going to be the quickest way to do it. He has the skill set to do it. He's played there before. And so just get him on that path and then don't veer from it. I mean, that's what has annoyed me a little bit about like Fadio Denebo. Remember, he was an edge, and then he was a defensive interior, then he was edge again. Same thing with Jalen Holmes. Just like pick a spot, let these guys learn, and let them get muscle memory and technique down, and then go from there. So James Lynch kicking inside, I think is a smart move, and let's roll with it. All right, but your thoughts, James Lynch, defensive tackle James Lynch. Woo! Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work? Pull us on the Venmo. But until next time, Skull, production value.